Look, if you're between 21 and 25 right now, this is your prime window to build yourself into someone no one recognizes. Mentally, physically, and also financially. And look, I'm not talking about small improvements. I'm talking about a complete transformation where people who knew you a year ago don't even recognize the kind of person you've become. And the reason I know this is actually possible is because this is exactly what I did. At 22, I got in the best shape of my life. I traveled to multiple countries while running my online business. I made thousands of dollars in profit per day, all from my laptop. And it all started when I made the decision to lock in during all these years. Here's what you need to understand. 21 to 25 years old is not the identity phase. This is not the time to coast, to rest on your laurels. This is not the time to just party like everyone else and waste your potential. Most people waste these years chasing short-term pleasure. Parties, validation, drugs, comfort, all of it. And then they wake up at 40 with a beer belly, a shitty job that pays them $2,000 a month, wondering why they're still broke, out of shape, and unhappy. Don't end up like those people. Your 20s are your foundational window. The habits, the skills, and the mindset you're building now, they will set your 30s and 40s. Think about it like building a house. If you build a weak foundation in your early 20s, everything you try to build later will be shaky. But if you build a rock-solid foundation now, everything you create later will be stable and scalable. The version of you at 25 decides the version of you at 35. And look, that's not just a motivational quote, that's reality. I need to be real with you about something. I grew up in the low middle class. My dad was a nurse, my mom a nursing assistant. They worked themselves to the bone. I'm talking about 12-hour shifts back to back just to keep a roof over our heads. But you know what was the worst part? Watching them sacrifice everything, their health, their time, their dreams, all of that for what? To barely scrape by. I saw the pain in their eyes every single night, the exhaustion, the stress when the bills piled up. That pain was exactly what drove me to figure out how to break the fucking cycle. And I realized that if I didn't lock in during my early 20s, I would end up in the same situation. And I couldn't help myself or my family or anyone else for that matter. So I made a choice. I chose to be uncomfortable now so I could be free later. If you're in your 20s right now, this is your moment. Not next year. Not when you figure things out. I'm talking about right here, right now. Because while everyone else is sleepwalking through overpriced university courses that, let's be honest, teach you jack shit, racking up tens of thousands of dollars in debt for a piece of paper that might get them a $40,000 a year job they will hate, you could be building an online business that gives you actual freedom. Fuck you money. I'm talking about being able to wake up in Bali, Barcelona, or Tokyo, wherever you want, because you chose to, not because you saved up for a 1-week shitty vacation. I'm talking about being able to retire your parents so they never have to work another soul-crushing job again. That's what this is really about. Your 20s are when you have the energy, the time, and honestly, the least to lose. You don't have a mortgage, you don't have kids, you've got no golden handcuffs keeping you trapped in a career you settled for. Right now is your time to take risks that you won't be able to take at 35 with a family depending on you. So either you build something now while you have that advantage, or you look back at 40 wondering what could have been if you just had the guts to bet on yourself when it mattered the most. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. Look, everything starts with fixing your broken mindset, and the most important thing you need to understand is that discipline will beat motivation every single time. Motivation is what gets you started, sure, but discipline is what keeps you going when motivation runs out. And believe me, it always runs out. You have to learn to be comfortable being uncomfortable, because growth is not going to happen in comfort. Growth only ever happens when you're pushing through resistance, when you're doing the thing you don't want to do, when you're choosing the hard path over the easy one. If you've ever tried to build a business or get jacked, then you already know this is true. You don't grow by continuing to do the same thing you've been doing. You grow by doing the things you're scared shitless of doing. You have to isolate yourself to elevate yourself. Cut distractions. Limit social noise. I'm not saying that you have to become a hermit forever. You can't sustain this. Even myself as an introvert, that's not what I want. But during your lock-in phase, you need to be extremely protective of your time and energy. That means say no to things that don't align with your goals, no to parties every weekend, no to friends who only want to drink, get high and waste your time. It even means saying no to relationships that drain you instead of making you a better person. And I know all of that sounds harsh, but I'm telling you from experience, the people who level up are the ones who had the courage to isolate themselves and to focus on one thing when everybody else was distracted. So here are the daily habits that helped me lock in. In the early morning, I used to hit the gym or go for a run first thing. This sets the tone for the entire day. Nowadays what I do is I get up at 5 or 6 a.m. on average, I make myself a cup of tea, and then I get straight to work on my highest return on investment tasks in my business. This would be making content for me. You can try starting your day with exercise or deep work and see which approach works best for you. If you're a total beginner with zero discipline, I recommend starting with working out first things first in the morning because it will teach you to push past the pain and to not listen to your feelings. Once you've been able to do that successfully and it's no longer hard, you can transition to doing 2 to 4 hours of deep work first things first in the morning. Then, something else you can do is reading or journaling or even both. Every day I spend time learning and reflecting. This sharpens your mind and helps you stay focused on what actually matters. Most people know if they want to be healthy, they need to fuel their bodies with good food, right? Healthy, nutritious, organic food. But most people don't even think about their mental diet, the kind of stuff they feed their mind. If you're always watching the news, looking at all this negativity, etc., you're surrounded by broke losers who are always negative, what do you think your mind is gonna be like? It's gonna be a fucking battlefield. And then you'll be too scared to take any risks. You won't do anything, you'll procrastinate, and you won't wonder why. Even though you feed your body healthy good food, that's because you need to feed your mind good information too. Positivity, optimism. Surround yourself with people who've got the kind of life that you want to have. So these habits might sound boring, but boring is what builds extraordinary results. This isn't a movie, you know? You don't change your entire life overnight because of one heroic moment. You drastically improve your life by doing one small thing at a time. For example, you start by getting rid of a drinking addiction. Then you start getting up earlier, because at night you just watch Netflix, so what's the point? Just go to sleep earlier. Then you start exercising, then you start a business, and before you realize it, you're making 6, even 7 figures a year, working from anywhere in the world. You've got an awesome social circle, and you're in great shape. You're living the life. But most people want that life without all the sacrifices that come to build it. Now let's talk about building your body, because it's the foundation of everything. Your body is your first business card. Before you even say a word, people judge you based on how you look. I know it's sad, but that's just reality. And fitness gives you confidence, structure, and energy. Everything else stems from it. When I went from average to in shape, it wasn't just physical. It changed how I thought about myself, how I carried myself, how I approached challenges. Here's how I did it. I picked up weightlifting and running for cardio. And I showed up to the gym every single morning when it was pitch black outside, even when I didn't feel like it, even on Sunday mornings, even when it was raining. When it comes to my nutrition, I stopped eating like shit and I started fueling my body properly. I followed a precise workout program, full body workouts, and I tracked my progress on an app. I didn't do anything fancy, I just focused on doing the basics consistently. And once I mastered my body, I realized I could master anything. The man who acquires the ability to take full possession of his own mind may take possession of anything else to which he is justly entitled. Andrew Carnegie. If I could force myself to go to the gym at 5 a.m. when it was freezing outside, I could force myself to make sales calls. If I could stick to a meal plan, I could stick to a business plan. Physical discipline always translates to mental discipline. Now let's talk about money. The biggest flex in your 20s isn't your car, it's freedom. It's having fuck you money. And the way you get there is by learning a high income skill and going digital, instead of simply relying on local opportunities. So here are some of the skills you should focus on in 2025. Copywriting, offer creation, digital marketing, sales, AI automation, and personal brand systems. These skills are what helped me to scale my online business from 0 to thousands of dollars per day in profit. Once I understood leverage, using content, systems, and good offers, everything changed because I wasn't just trying to trade time for money anymore, like most people. Instead, I was creating assets that generated income even while I slept. And here's what I need you to understand. The best thing you can do is sell digital products, coaching, or services, not some bullshit dropshipping, not crypto gambling, not trying to go viral on TikTok. Sell knowledge, info. Package it into a product, a coaching program, or a service, and sell it to people who need it. This is how you build a real wealth in your 20s. You create a digital product once and you sell it infinitely. You help one person get results, you get a testimonial, and then you help 10 more people. It compounds, and the margins are insane. We're talking 90 to 95% profit. When you sell a $1,000 course, you're keeping 950 of it. Now, I challenge you to show me any kind of other online business model or even business model in general with those kinds of margins that you can start with zero capital. Because spoiler alert, you won't be able to find one. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. Look, if you're between 21 to 25, it's time to go ghost and become unrecognizable. Your goal is to become someone your old self wouldn't even recognize, not just physically, but mentally and financially too. So here's how you do it. Step 1, audit your social circle. Look at your friends, the people around you, your environment, your habits. Are they pushing you forward or holding you back? And be completely honest with yourself. If you're not honest with yourself, you won't be able to make this work. If your friends are all broke, unmotivated, they trash you all the time, you're probably gonna stay broke and unmotivated. It's reality. You can accept it, ditch them, become successful, or stay where you are. You become the average of the people you spend the most time with. Step 2, rebuild your identity. Set new standards, new goals. Stop saying I'm the type of person who struggles to be disciplined, or oh, I can't be disciplined no matter what I try. Start by saying I'm the type of person who always follows through. Your identity drives your behavior. First, you need to change the identity and then the behavior follows, not the other way around. Step 3, track your progress physically, mentally, financially. Every 90 days, you should be embarrassed by your old self. If you're not growing fast enough. Now, there's something you need to understand that most people just don't get. You're not supposed to have it all figured out. You're supposed to grind while others waste time. Delayed gratification is the game. While your peers are blowing money on bottles at the club, you're investing in courses, tools, and skills. While they're sleeping in, you're in the gym. While they're scrolling, you're building your business. And in a few years, the gap between you and them will be so wide, they won't even be able to catch up. I can tell you from experience, the pain of discipline is nothing compared to the pain of regret. That, I can guarantee it. Think about being 35, 45, 55, broke, out of shape, stuck in a job you hate. But you can't quit because you need to take care of your family. That pain lasts forever. But the pain of waking up early, saying no to parties, working when you're tired, that pain is temporary. And it's what builds you the life that you want. So it's fucking worth it. People have this big misconception that they can just go through life never feeling any pain. Well, that's not possible, you know. No matter what you choose to do, you will feel pain. That's what most people don't understand. Most people are out there asking themselves, how can I avoid pain? But they're asking themselves the wrong question. You need to ask yourself, what am I willing to suffer for? Would you rather suffer the pain of being poor or the pain of sacrificing your social life and hobbies for a few years to get rich? Would you rather suffer the pain of being overweight, out of breath every time you walk a flight of stairs, or would you rather suffer the pain of not eating whatever you want, whenever you want, all the time, and getting your ass in the gym a few times a week? As you can see, no matter which option you pick, you won't be in pain, you will suffer. But at the very least, you get to choose which suffering you want to endure. It's up to you. Most people make the easy choices and then complain they have a hard life. Don't be like most people if you want a different result. If you want to discover how I've made thousands of dollars a day online, I've made a free training that will show you everything step by step. The link will be in the description. And for a limited time, you can also apply to book a free call with me or a member of my team. On that call, we'll see what's blocking you from making more money, and we'll give you a custom step-by-step plan so you can start your business today, even with $0 in startup capital, and get your first customers as quickly as possible. The link is in the description, but be quick because we have very limited spots and they fill up fast. Look, I know what it's like to be in your early 20s and to feel completely lost. I know what it's like to watch everyone around you partying while you're grinding alone in the dark with no guarantee you're gonna make it. I know what it's like to question if the sacrifices you're making will be worth it and will pay off. But I'm telling you from the other side, it is fucking worth it. Every early morning, every missed party, every uncomfortable conversation, every hour of deep work, every workout. It's so worth it when you wake up at 25 and realize you've built a 6-7-figure business and now you can do whatever the fuck you want while everybody else is stuck in a shitty $2,000 a month job. You have a choice to make right now. You can keep living life like everyone else, chasing short-term pleasure, staying comfortable, avoiding the hard work. Or you can lock in, become unrecognizable, and set yourself up for a life of freedom. Most people won't choose comfort, even the people watching this video right now. In fact, most people won't even make it till the end of the video. That's why most people are broke, out of shape and unhappy. But you are different. You've watched this entire video because something inside you knows you're capable of more. So prove it. Lock in. Become unrecognizable.